Hello you guys, and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah, and we've talked a lot about decluttering thus far on this channel, but we haven't talked as much about how to prevent this clutter from coming in the first place. Now, a lot of that is shopping, so I did just talk about things that I've stopped buying. I'll link that video up here, but today let's try to really be proactive. With decluttering, that's often kind of more of a reactionary situation. You are reacting to the fact that you have a lot of clutter in your home and you're trying to get rid of some of it. But when we're proactive about it, we can prevent that decluttering process from even happening as much in the first place because you're not bringing as many new things into your space. So today I have a few tips, first on just ways to prevent clutter, as well as some ways that you can stop shopping so much, since I know that's a big challenge for some people and there's a lot of temptation out there, so it's really challenging. First, let's talk about mail. So in general, mail can be very annoying and can definitely build up really quickly. So I would recommend trying to go paperless with as much of your mail as you can. As you receive mail, you can take a look. You can see what kind of mail you're receiving, and hopefully whatever accounts you have for things, opt for a paperless version. So any bills that you receive, maybe there's a paperless option for you to pay online. Maybe you are receiving annoying offers and you can unsubscribe from those offers online. Try to do that with as much mail as you can. Like, as you receive a piece of new mail, see if you can get out of it. Now, some things, there's random coupons for things in the area that sometimes is tough to avoid, but going paperless here can just reduce the amount of clutter you're even bringing into your space. For the mail that you do have, I recommend trying to deal with it right away. It's very easy to walk in from a long day of work, grab the mail, set it down somewhere, and then go about your other things. What I'd recommend is try to deal with that mail head on, take a look at it, try to immediately recycle the things you don't need anymore so that you can get that out of the house and not have to worry about it. Some things maybe do require a little bit more effort, but if it's going to take you a minute or less to deal with that piece of mail, then I feel like it's worthwhile to just take care of it and then not have it piling up anywhere. Another great tip is to turn down freebies. Now, whatever the situation is, maybe it's a promotional item for a certain business, maybe it's things that you get as part of your own job where you work, freebies accumulate fast. I don't know about you, but most of the time the freebies, at least I've received, are pretty junky. And there's nothing really that I'm like, oh, that was a great freebie. That really enriched my life. If it's extra pens, notepads, I suppose maybe those could be useful if you're using a lot of that kind of stuff. But in general, I would say just turn down those freebies, because not only are they probably just a cheap item that's not really going to add value to your life and just add clutter, like junk drawer types of items, but also then there's additional resources being used to create those items, and that can add up. So avoiding those freebies is a great way to just limit the clutter that's coming into our homes. A one in, one out policy might be helpful. So if you are purchasing something or bringing something new into the house, try to get rid of a similar item. This is really great because it doesn't mean you have to immediately shut yourself off from ever buying anything again, but it makes you evaluate what is most important to you. And ultimately, I think the true goal is to just have things that you love around your space. And if you're able to get rid of something every time you bring something new in, that will help maintain the items that you have in your home and help prevent anything from piling up. It also could help cut your spending, because if you were to buy 10 new pieces of clothing, that would mean you'd have to get rid of 10 things at home, which could be challenging. Now, at least at the time of filming this, it's not really a huge time of year for gifts, but being upfront about your thoughts regarding gifts, I think, is important to deal with earlier on, especially several months before like a gift-giving holiday in your life. Now, if you've got a birthday or other holiday coming up where you might be receiving gifts, it could be valuable to reach out to these family members and individuals and let them know that you're trying to simplify your life, and ask that perhaps they don't give you a gift, or at least a traditional gift. If they are unhappy about the idea of not giving you a gift, maybe you can think of a different sort of experience that would add value to you without adding clutter. So for example, maybe you want to travel somewhere and they can contribute towards your trip. Maybe you are trying to pay off some debt for something, and that would be a really valuable contribution. Maybe you want to go treat yourself to a massage or something kind of like that. Those would be ways to enrich your life without giving you some clutter that lingers for a really long time. Now, when I was preparing for this video, honestly, the shopping part I feel like is the biggest way that we bring in clutter, besides the options I've already mentioned. And so I want to give a couple tips in regards to how people can shop less, because it can be really challenging to kind of cut some of these habits, especially when our society is centered around the process of like buying things and consuming often. We see so many ads every day, etc. So first of all, unsubscribe from any emails that you have with businesses. Now this might be challenging, and you might say, well, but I get good deals. There may be good deals there, but if you're trying to bring less into your life and stop shopping, then it doesn't matter what the price is of the good. You don't need that good in your life. And even if it's like 90% off and such a good deal, you still don't need that item in your life. So unsubscribe from those emails, and then you just won't know about it. Unfollow them on social media if they post deals there. And if you don't know about it, you can't spend money. I would encourage you to cancel subscription services where you are bringing items into your home. So I know there's different like box subscription services. I've personally never done one, so I don't know if they're like really exciting, but if you don't need all of the items in the box, that's a great way to save money from the monthly cost and prevent that stuff from coming into your home. I know people love Amazon and I love their Prime, but canceling Prime could be something that could help you potentially in terms of your shopping. I know for myself, if I'm looking to buy something online, sometimes I get really irritated by the shipping cost, and it prevents me from buying the item because it's like, well, is it worth it if I have to pay $5 for shipping? But when you have something like Prime, I don't know, I can't speak from experience because I've only ever done like the monthly trial just when I was gonna buy something and I didn't want to pay and then I canceled it. But if you have Prime, I imagine it's very tempting to be able to buy things much more often since the shipping is free and fast. So canceling Prime could make that decision process a little bit more difficult about if you're going to actually buy something. I think if you can stop making things easy on yourself, for example, having things set up for like auto pay where it remembers your credit card and you can just buy with one click, like that's almost too easy. There have been times where I'm ordering something and it's like, ugh, I have to go get my credit card and enter all that in. It's not really that big of a chore, but it just like is a mental block compared to if it's already programmed in. Oh, this is so easy. Let me click buy now. I don't even have to get up from my seat. And then surprise, you've just spent a lot of money without having to really think about it. So any way that you can slow yourself down, I think too could be helpful. A 24-hour rule could also be positive. So you could think about that item over the course of 24 hours, not actually buy it. Maybe it sits in your cart online or it's something you see at the store and you don't buy it that day. Over time, decide if it's still something that's really worthwhile to you, or if it was just something that you kind of saw more like impulsively and was thinking you could have, but then maybe after you think about it, maybe it's not really something you need anymore. This is a really tough one, but try not to be influenced by sales. The only sale items you should be buying are the things that you actually, the sales are designed to get us to buy more. So there's a reason they're doing that, and they know that they work because they keep doing sales. Yes, there are some good sales, and for certain food products, if they're on sale, I have taken advantage of those, but only for things that I use very regularly. And I know that I'm not going to waste. With clothing items, with personal care products, with these things, make sure that you're actually using the product and not just buying it because you're motivated by the price difference. Shop less if possible. So obviously the more times you go into different stores, the more likely you'll be buying more. Me and grocery shopping, this comes into play so much. Like if I'm grocery shopping, I might be going to the store for bananas and I walk out of the store with more than bananas. Having a list can be helpful, but that does require willpower. But sometimes not even going to the store at all is the best way to save money and not be bringing more stuff into your house. Now this final tip definitely depends on the type of shopping you're doing, but if you're going to be buying a lot or you're nervous that you're going to buy a lot, don't use a cart. Instead, I'll bring reusable bags and just use my reusable bag to carry things. I typically do this with food shopping because I know that I can get tempted to try different food items. When you're just using bags that you're carrying and not a cart, you become much more aware of the amount of stuff you're buying because how heavy it can become. And you'll also realize that you start to run out of space a lot faster. You could also use a basket, I suppose, as well. And that's just going to make it a little bit more complicated for yourself to be overspending. So those are just a few of my tips. Obviously, there's other more generic tips out there to help you save money and shop less, but I wanted to give my own version, kind of a way to be proactive. Obviously, with a minimalist lifestyle, decluttering is important, but I think if we can be proactive, even if you decide that you don't even want to declutter and you just want to start now not bringing as much into your life, that is a great way to live more simply, and you can save so much money in the process. If you do wish to declutter, however, I do have a declutter challenge guide that you can get if you check out the link below and sign up for my email newsletter. If you are new around here, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you enjoy minimalism or healthy living videos, I make 3 per week. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.